for the last 3 years, and I wake up and I thank the Lord for another day of life. And then I get to my weights, get the weights. And coaching, you gotta have strategy. And in life, you gotta have a plan. Don't give up on your dreams, okay? Anything is possible if you put your mind to it.
Welcome back to the podcast. Today I've had somebody I've wanted to have for a long time, but I haven't told about. This is Coach Lopez. Want to introduce yourself, Cameron?
Yeah, my name is Coach Chris Lopez. I coached for 44 years. I was a school teacher for 44 years. I had the privilege of meeting Brandon a long time ago when I was in summer rec. It was, to me, summer rec was a breath of fresh air because I got to work with the little ones, and they kind of like looked up to you like you're some kind of monster or giant. But it was a pleasure to have him and his little siblings. Okay, although I did lose one of them.
You got to explain that story now. You said that.
It was Betty. So Betty, we're still looking for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was 4 when I started there.
Yeah, we used to do a variety of activities from board games to exercising and running, and his kids love, for some reason, they love to play kickball and Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, we played that at the indoor gym.
Yeah,
the basketball course. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And no running, and the Pac-Man, they weren't allowed to run. Once they were touched, they were out. But it was a lot of fun, because to me it was like I got to work with different level of kids from middle school all the way to elementary to high school, even college level students. But to me, working with the young ones was like a breath of fresh air, because that's, they look up to you, and that's the future of tomorrow. So you want to lead them in the right path.
Yeah, thank you for that. Anyone listening at home, I'm sorry, she's barking. My mom will come out and calm her down real quick. But so you started off coaching.
I started out coaching back in 1977, and I started in my hometown, Monte Alto, Texas, which is about a 45-minute drive from here. And I started there. I was there from 1977 to 1981. From 1981 to 1982, I was at Cachaza High School. Then from 1982 all the way to 1996, I was at the Edinburgh School District. I taught middle school, and then freshman from 85 to 89. 89 to 96, I was at the original Edinburgh High School. I got to coach football, varsity football, varsity track on the girls' side, the boys' side, and I got to do, I was a head basketball coach in 1989 for Lady Bobcats. I also was, when I relinquished my duties for head girls basketball, became the JV coach from 1990 to 1996. In 1996 to 2000, I was at Middle School.
San Benito.
In San Benito. I was there from 96 to 2000. And in 2000, Edinburgh opened a new high school by the name of Edinburgh Economides, Jaguars. I went there for 1 year, from 2000 to 2001. And I yearned to get back to San Benito, because I always wanted to be to San Benito High School. And I remember I used to make the long track from San Benito to Edinburgh, and I would pass through San Benito High School real early in the morning, and I would talk to God, and I say, well, God, one day you're going to open the door for me to work at that school, but when it's the right time. Well, the right time was in 2001, and I was there from 2001 to 2021. I coached a variety of sports. I was a first assistant in basketball, girls for 4 years, track for boys and girls, football, On the defensive side, I was the cornerback coach. When we went all the way to the regional quarterfinals, we lost to the eventual state runner-up, which is Smithson Valley. We lost to them at the Alamo Dome.
2004.
2004. I relinquished my football duties in 2010 when the previous administration left for mission, and I felt that God had given me a right calling, so I relinquished my football duties. In 2007, I became the head varsity wrestling coach for the girls, and I led the program for 14 years, 4 district championships, 14 consecutive regional appearances, and 10 consecutive state appearances in state tournament. And I had one girl finish 5th in the state, and one girl actually finished 3rd in the state while I was a wrestling coach. And when COVID hit, I knew that it was the right time for me to step away. In 2001, I decided to retire, and I spoke to my wife, Linda, and I told her the time is for me to step away. It was hard for me to step away because for 44 years, that's all I had done. And at the same time, I was kind of hesitant, but I knew God had a plan for me, and the plan was to step away because now I really enjoy retirement, spending time with my wife and my grandkids and my kids. And I get to do things that with my wife that we haven't done in a long time. We spend, as a coach, you spend a lot of time away from your family, your kids. You spend more time with other kids from other families, and you miss out on your kids, and you try to make up for loss of time now that I'm retired. I really enjoy retirement. My routine is a routine that I followed for the last 3 years, and I wake up and I thank the Lord for another day of life. And then I get to my weights, get the weights, and that is my medicine for stress. And of course, I gotta get right by God first, and pray my rosary, read my scriptures. I send my wife a GIF, a spiritual GIF, and then I do my weights, and we go and walk, and then we go out and eat a little bit.
Well, that's good. I thanks for the whole history thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know, because you were in San Benito before I was born. I don't know if you.
I don't know what year you were born.
02.
02? Yeah, I was 96. So you're 19 or what?
I'm 21.
You're 21.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember those years. Yeah, but to me, it's God has a plan for everybody, and I knew God was gonna open a door for me in San Benito, and He opened that door in San Benito High School. And I actually spent with the San Benito School District 24 years. I was at 1 year short of 25. I didn't want to go and extend my career where I knew the time was right when COVID hit, because I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And I learned a long time ago from a coach who passed away, a friend of mine, Richard R. Flores, that when it's longer fun, it's time to get out. And I was no longer having fun, so when that happens in your job, it's time to get out, because especially in the field of coaching and teaching, because you hurt the kids, and I didn't want to do that. As a matter of fact, I never went to a wrestling match till this year, because it was hard for me to sit in the stands and just,
Since COVID.
You've been involved in wrestling all your life, and now you're sitting in the stands, and wow, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, and I feel like it was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the 2020 or 2021 year was the highest rate of retirement for teachers, coaches, anybody involved with schools, because
Because of the COVID.
Because we didn't know what it was going to be, and being that you had already years of experience coaching, I couldn't even imagine something so foreign to you, like doing it virtually. Did you ever coach virtually?
I had because I'm not real computer savvy,
Yeah.
and I learn as I go.
Yeah.
And I never thought that I'd be teaching and talking to computer or a laptop, and the kids are at home. But that did happen, and if anything, it made me a better teacher because I was gonna have to adapt. And in coaching, it's the same way. You know, you gotta adapt to sudden change, and if something's not working, you gotta try something else, and that's the way it is in life. You know, life is not a bed of roses. It's, you know, you have ups and downs. But you gotta bounce back. You know, you just can't say, well, you know what, today I choose to have a bad day. I wake up and I say, I'm gonna have a good day, and if it's turned out to be a bad day, I'm gonna get over the hump. And that's the way it is at work, and any kind of work you do. It doesn't matter. It could be whatever, manual work or whatever, labor. I'm not ashamed that I was, to tell you that I was a migrant farm worker for many, many years, and I worked in the fields. My parents were immigrants from Mexico, and they taught us the value of hard work, and that helped us a lot in our personal life and our work environment and at work. I don't know any other way to work but to work hard. And as I'm teaching and I'm coaching, I try to instill that into the kids. As a matter of fact, in '96, I'm a lot on acronyms. Yeah. And I introduced an acronym in Miller Jordan from '96 to 2000, and it's called HAD. And every time we break football practice, and we say HAD, and the kids will yell: hard work, attitude, and discipline. And I told them, if you apply that in life, you can't go wrong. You gotta work hard. You gotta have the right attitude. And you gotta have discipline. The only time that success comes before work is in the dictionary. You gotta work hard. And that's what I instilled, not only in the classroom, but to my athletes. He says, you're an athlete, but you're a student athlete. Yeah. When they come to me in the state wrestling tournament, they're gonna ask me, well, what kind of athlete is she? They're gonna ask me, what kind of student is she? Because college recruits, they're gonna recruit you, on your athletic talent, but they wanna know if you're a good student, because they wanna invest their money in you, and they want something in return. And I always told the girls, gotta work hard, have the right attitude, have discipline, and don't do something to give the program a black eye or a bad name. Okay, because the one that's responsible is the head coach.
Thank you for that new perspective. That is a thing I did want to dig into with you, for sure. From what I've noticed recently, like in this chapter of my life, for sure, is the word motivation is out of the door, and it's discipline now. Like there's a lot of things like sports, work, learning, or trying new things. It's always discipline. And I noticed that you can read all the motivational quotes in the world, but if you don't get up and do something routinely like you should, it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
So me wanting to be like a powerlifter, because I'm working on that right now, and this podcast is just, there's times where I don't want to do both of those things, but it's just like, no, I have to, because it's not even motivation anymore. It's like I have to do it. So before '77, when you became a coach, what do you think got you into that?
Well, it's funny because as I graduated in 1973 from Mecachosa High School, and when I went to see my counselor to ask for help to get into college, she basically looked me in the eye and says, "You're not college material. You need to go to vocational school or go join the armed forces because you're not college material." But what helped me is it's like when people tell me that I can't do it, I'm gonna try to prove you wrong. Okay, I'm gonna try to prove you wrong. So what helped me was I hung around with people that already experienced, or 1 year ahead of me, who experienced a college life. So I started hanging around them and asking them questions of what I need to do to apply for financial aid, uh, to register and all this as well. First of all, you got to get your A. Back then, it's not the SAT, it was the ACT. And I was okay, so I got that out of the way. And then I got accepted. And what helped me was that my mom and dad, I come from a large family of 9 brothers and 5 sisters. And I was a first generation college graduate. It didn't come easy for me because when you come from a small town and you go to a big university, your eyes open. You know, and I lost focus of what was important, and that was I was there to get an education, but I got lost. You know, I got involved in party life and you know and drinking and not going to classes and skipping, and you have to back then you have to maintain a 2.0 to stay in school. Well, I wasn't doing that, and they sent me like a warning. It's called scholastic probation. I didn't listen, so I got suspended for 1 year from it's called scholastic suspension. I got suspended for 1 year.
Yeah. Not a semester, a whole year.
A whole year.
Okay.
And they threw me out of school for a year for not making. You have to carry 2.0, which is a C average, and I wasn't even doing that.
Yeah.
You know, because I lost focus of what was important. You know, I was 18. I wasn't mature enough to handle, you know, the academics and the social life. I mean, that was something else. But the academics was I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. Well, I made an excuse to my parents that I had bought a car. This is 1974. I said, I can't go to school, I gotta pay the car, but that was a lie. You know. So I got a job, a summer job with a Texas Department of Transportation. They were hired for 90 days. I was 20 at the time. The summer of 1974, let's see, I was 19. And I was working at TxDOT, so my employment after 90 days was over. And the supervisor at TxDOT wanted to get me into the sugar mill. And I remember I was working with, I can't remember the man's name. I remember his first name was Melvin. And we're in charge of the right-of-way, where if you have a car for sale, you measure from the center line to the car. If you're closer than 90 feet, you gotta move your car. It's called the right-of-way. So I worked with him and the parks. I was cleaning the parks and mowing. I was patching up potholes and trimming trees. I was doing a lot of manual work. So
Yeah.
I finished, and he called Melvin to meet. That we needed to meet at the sugar mill right in Santa Rosa and Highway 106. And I met with him. And says, "How old are you?" I says, "I'm 20. You need to lie. Say you're 21 to hire you." I'm not gonna lie, sir. So, well, I didn't last very long without a job because I had a friend of mine that worked for Williamson Dickies, which is just a clothing store.
Yeah,
They make jeans and shirts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they called me. I can't remember, it was a Wednesday night or something like that. They called me, they're hiring at Williamson Dickies, and you want to go? I said, so I got hired. And I worked there from Williamson Dickies from 1974 to 1977. And I was making $110 a month. Might not seem like a lot right now, but back then $110 was a lot of money. But, and in 1977, my first cousin, Joe Gonzalez, was a paraprofessional at Monte Alto ISD, and he had graduated from college. So the superintendent of school, Mr. Jose Borrell, asked my cousin if he knew anybody. He recommended me. So I was driving, and my hometown, Monte Alto, stopped the stop sign, and Mr. Jose Borrell stopped me and said, "I got a job for you. It's a paraprofessional. Does it pay $700 a month?" I said, "I don't need more than that." I started negotiating my contract. And it says, "I'll let you drive a bus, school bus, and I paid an extra $225. I got my chauffeur's license to drive a bus, and I drove a bus, and one day I went up to him to complain that I was doing the work as a school teacher. Why couldn't I get paid as a school teacher? I said, you want to get paid as a school teacher? You go back and finish your degree. And it's like the switch turned off, and I went back to school. This is the fall of 1977. I'd already lost, because I could have graduated from college in 1977. But because I got sidetracked, and I'm doing odd jobs and all that stuff, so I decided to go back. And I looked him in the eye and I said, okay, I'm going to go back and get my degree, but I'm not going to come after their job. I'm going to come after yours. So he kind of smiled and said, Mr. Lopez, I welcome it. And he was like a mentor to me, because if it wasn't for him guiding me and redirecting my path to education, I probably wouldn't have finished school. And I went back and I made all my deficiency bad grades. I got rid of all the D's and F's, and I was no longer settling for C's. I wanted B's and A's. But to make a long story short, I graduated with 156 college hours, with a 3.2 in my major, and an overall 2.85 overall, all my classes, and I got to make the dean's list. This is a guy that had been thrown out of school, you know, but I never gave up on my dream. Never gave up on my dream, and that's how I started. And then when I graduated in the fall of 1981, the first person I called, Mr. O, said, Mr. Woodrow, I just graduated from college. Do you have a job for me? He says, no, call me in an hour. And I called him an hour, says, I got an interview for you at Cachosa High School. And I went, and as I entered the superintendent's office, he looks at me, and the man says, the superintendent, Mr. Daniel Hernandez, I know you. You're Lopez, right? Yes, sir. And I says, I coach your sisters and your brothers in La Villa, Texas. Because I was born in La Villa, Texas back in May 5th of 1955. So let's sit down and talk. So we sat down and talked, and I think the interview lasted about 15 minutes, and I got hired. I got hired to teach ESL, which is English as second language, but they were getting me all the bad kids from the English classes. But I made them work, man. I made them work, and then it was the school year 82. I just come home, and the phone rang, and the human resource director from Edinburgh, Mr. Jose Perales, called. Are you Christine Lopez? Yes, sir. Are you interested in working for Edinburgh CISD? And back then, working for Edinburgh CISD was a big deal.
Yeah.
And yes, sir. I got hired to be a PE teacher. And from 1982 to 1989, and then from 89 all the way to 96, I was teaching health and coaching all kinds of sports.
For like middle school?
From 89 to 96, I was at the high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I got to coach at the highest level as far as high school. Back then it was 5A, now it's 6A, but I got to coach at the highest level. And one of my pride and joy was when we got to the Alamo Dome, and I was walking out the Alamo Dome, and I said, what is a small guy like me doing here? And like when I went to the state tournament, wrestling tournament for the first time, I said, wow. But yeah, we had some good runs in all sports. Never had a losing season.
Yeah. Sorry about that. As a coach, you never had a losing season? Anything?
Well, it's funny that you say that, but my first year as a football coach, junior high in Edinburgh. Yeah, we were 1-9. We were 1-9, and then the following year we turned it around. We started working hard in the off season and getting stronger, working on the mental part of the game, and we got better. I don't know if you remember our defensive coordinator, Coach Espinosa. Used to be here in San Benito.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
he was one of my football players. Coach Campos, who coached for the running backs here in San Benito, was one of my athletes also. Coach Mike Mall, that was coaching in San Antonio Burbanks.
Yeah, I just saw that recently too.
He was one of my first ones at Miller Jordan in 1996.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, it's not about the money, because if you're in want to go into teaching to make money or coaching to make money, it's not gonna happen. You gotta have passion for what you're doing, and like any work, if you love what you do, it's not a job. It's not. You enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And for 44 years, you know, I enjoyed doing what I was doing. You know, it's like, I remember the first time I went to work, and my mom looked at me and says, "You going to work in shorts?" Yeah, I'm a PE teacher, man. I'm a PE teacher, so what other job can you go in shorts, man? But it was fun.
Yeah, my like you said, it's not about money. My current coach, Juan Aguilera, I'm not sure if you know him.
Yeah, that's true. Aguilera's,
Yeah.
he so you're into powerlifting.
Yes.
I'm not even gonna ask you how much you squat, but I
You're
think
disappointed in me.
I think I can guess.
Yeah.
You can probably squat about 400 pounds.
A bit over, 440.
And bench press about 315.
315
There
exactly.
you go. And power lift about 5.
I'm at like 475.
There you go. I'm still active as a coach, baby.
Yeah, but
I love to lift weights, man. And I remember when you were a little kid, man.
yeah.
But now I can see that you put in the work, and just by looking at you.
Well, I'm working on it right now. We're on a new program right now. It's a 14 week split, and PRs are supposed to increase by 10%. So
Yeah.
we're looking at almost 5 something deadlift by the end of it. But like you said, there's no money in the coaching field. Just like I did a podcast with my coach, and he said the same thing. It's just like you can't put a price on changing someone's life.
No.
Like coaches especially, they like to an athlete. It's more than just teaching somebody how to play a game. It's like the mental's a big thing, a big aspect in all sports.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure you know that for sure.
You gotta have your mental right frame of mind, because, you know, and I'll use an example. When we go to the regional tournament, you know, when we first started going to the regional tournament, the San Antonio schools and the Austin schools and the Corpus schools did not respect San Benito. Oh, they're just a valley. They don't know how to wrestle. Well, I was very, very lucky that I got spoiled from 2010 to 2013. I had a group of girls that bought into the program, and the 50 matches that we wrestled that year, we only lost 1. And we were district champs 3 years in a row, and finished 4th in the region 2 years. And that was the year that we finally broke and got to the state tournament, and I took 3, and 1 girl got 5th in the state. And there's 16 girls in each weight bracket, and you won a top 16. And then the following year, 1 finished. She got to the state semifinals, and she lost to the state champion. She got pinned in the last 12 seconds.
This podcast is brought to you by Raw Nutrition. Raw Nutrition is a supplement company run by some random bodybuilder. Don't know if you guys have heard of him.
No, I need a subscriber goal.
Get 100K subs and come to Florida.
Everything ranging from pre-workouts to proteins to BCAAs, and also stronger pre-workouts. The supplement company has it all. It has some of the best tasting protein I've ever had. My personal favorite protein is the Cinnamon Crunch cereal that I have right here. Now, if you're broke like me, click the link in the description. Use code BrandonRyan, all caps, no spaces, for 10% off your next purchase at GetRawNutrition.com. That's code BrandonRyan, all caps, no spaces, for 10% off your next purchase. All you have to do is click the link in the description, take you right to their website, and use that code for a discount. But anyway, shout out to GetRawNutrition.com. Let's get back to that podcast.
But you were saying the girl finished 2nd in state.
Yeah,
State
and she had gotten the flu. So we finished. We made it to the 3rd place match,
You're good, you take.
and we go to the hotel, and I tell my assistant Patty Pope, "This is, we need to hydrate her, get her some soup and get her some Gatorade, and let's get the fever down." Well, we went the next day, and she's in the World Tunnel, and Channel 4 is on one side, and Channel 5 is on the other side, filming. And I look over there, and I look at my sister, she's ready. She wrestled a girl from El Paso, can't remember, a Somatic or something like that. And that girl from El Paso didn't know what hit her, because Valeria Torres, which is the bronze medalist,
Yeah.
she won the match. I mean, literally dominated the match. And, to my understanding, she pinned her, and she got on the podium, one of the top 3 in the state. That was one of the highlights in my wrestling career with these girls. And that was her only loss was in state. She won the 27 that year, and nobody's been able to match that.
That's crazy.
Nobody. Yeah.
Working it now. Foolish. What? I'm gonna turn this a little bit more. A little too more. There you go. Is the green light's facing you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. To this day, nobody's held that.
No.
Nobody's even touched that.
No, her sister came close. Valeria was a regional champion. Her sister Viviana, she was 138. Okay, and Valeria was 128. See, Valeria, junior, she went 138, but she only weighed 133. And we were wrestling in the consolation bracket, and she lost 3-2. I made a wrong call, and I admitted to her, this was on me. I says, we're gonna make it up next year. Next year you're coming back, but you're gonna come back at 128. And I mean, nobody in the valley won the region contention. And we beat a girl from San Antonio, Johnson. We pinned her, and as faith would have it, we met her again in state.
The same girl.
This time she was ready.
Yeah.
We beat her 3-2. Viviana, her sister, was 138, and she lost in the last 10 seconds, because it's 3 periods, 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
She lost in the last 10 seconds. She got pinned, and I told my assistant, Coach Cisneros, Joy Cisneros, talk to her, and then when she settled down, I talked to her. He says, God has a better plan for you. You're gonna meet her in a bigger stage. Well, as fate would have it, we met in the second round of the matches in the state tournament, and I remember Coach Cisneros coming up to me and says, Coach, can I talk to you? Sure. Can we change the plan against this girl?
Yeah.
This is, what do you got in mind? He says, why don't we just let Viviana take her down and release her, and when the girls pop her again, take her down. Well, that's what we were ahead, but later in the 3rd period, the girl had Viviana on her back, ready to win the match. And Viviana did a reversal. Reversal is when you turn from the bottom position to the top, and she pinned her. No, actually we won 16-15. It was real close.
That close too.
Yeah, and I remember the parents of the young lady come up to me and says, Coach, your wrestler is an awesome wrestler. Says, man, your daughter is one awesome wrestler. She's not that be ashamed of it. And that's what I tell my athletes, win or lose, I used to tell the girls, empty your tank. And they were like, what do you mean by that? Give me all you have and more. That's all I want. If you win, great. If you lose, as long as I know and you know that you gave me all you have, then winning takes care of yourself. Don't worry about the things you can't control. Worry about the things you can control. Yeah, but it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been good.
And you remember it like it was yesterday too.
My mind's still sharp.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm gonna tell you why, just like you exercise your body, you gotta exercise your mind, because the brain is part of your body.
Sorry.
And I do a lot of crossword puzzles in the
Really?
morning, and I do solitaire.
Yeah, solitaire. You a big chess player?
That's one thing I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I'd probably king me or whatever, checkmate. But I'm not a good chess player. But not Sudoku, but the jumbles that you have in newspaper.
Oh,
where
yeah.
you unscramble the letters to make the word and then figure out the phrase.
The-
I do those.
Yeah, those.
But right now I do a lot on the computer, the crossword puzzles. I got good at it.
That's good.
The
Yeah.
solitaire sometimes I get stuck. It's a lot of strategy.
That's good.
It's just because like in coaching, you gotta have strategy. You know?
Yeah.
And in life, you gotta have a plan.
Oh, you would love chess then.
Huh?
You would love chess.
Well, maybe you could teach me.
Yeah, we'll get around to it. I did. There's something I did want to ask. I have two questions.
Yeah.
You've coached for a while.
Mhm.
What are, in your opinion, the most fun sports to teach or coach, and what are the most hard sports to teach? Give me the top three of both, if you can.
The hardest sport to coach?
Like the top three hardest sports to coach, in your opinion. That.
My opinion?
Yes, sir.
You're probably gonna not agree with me, but I'm saying right now wrestling for me is real, real hard because it requires a lot of technique.
Yeah.
You know, and you gotta be mentally tough because it's not a 9 against 9, 5 against 5.
I guess one.
It's or 11 against 11. It's 1 against 1. It's you against that person.
Yep.
And it's a battle of the mind. Who wants it the most?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, when the wrestling pro was offered me in 2007, I knew a little bit about wrestling, but not enough. But when there was 5 schools, 6 schools back then, we won the district that year. We beat the PSJ Memorial 91-88 at Rio Hondo. That was a district tournament. And they had some state qualifiers.
Oh wow.
They had some state qualifiers, and it came out to us and them, and we pulled it up. 91-80. Wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling is tough.
Yeah.
What do you got? Talk to me.
Basketball.
As hard as the coach.
It's hard. And I would say number 3 would be football. People probably was thinking, well, what about football? You know, football's number 1 to a lot of people, but you know, I coached football for many, many years. It's not as hard as wrestling. It's not hard as basketball because when you're an assistant, you individualize.
Yes.
Like in my case, I was just coaching. When I was in Edinburgh, I was coaching varsity receivers. When I was in San Benito, I was coaching the cornerbacks. So it's just one area that I have to concentrate on. When I was the head girls basketball coach, I had to concentrate on offense, defense, drills, conditioning, and that's a lot to have on a plate.
Yeah.
And in wrestling, when I was a head coach, you know, you want to delegate stuff to your assistants, but when it comes down to the one that's in charge is the head coach, because you know success will come to the head coach because of the athletes and the assistants. You got to give credit where credit is due, and that credit, in my case for girls wrestling, goes to my assistants and the girls. Okay, and they bought into the program. You know, and as hard as it was during COVID, that we had to stay home.
Yeah.
You're still in school?
No, sir.
Well, my girls were being trained at home. They were, wherever they were, and we're doing drills on the
The Zoom call.
what is it? Zoom.
Zoom, yeah.
Zoom, yeah. And I'm watching y'all, you know, and but it was hard, man.
Oh, yeah, we had
It was
that
hard,
football, too.
and we didn't get to start wrestling until April, you know, and despite all the obstacles, I still got the good one girl stay, and she got a scholarship to go to Shriner University, and that was Kaylin Martinez, and I remember when I got Kaylin, she was in 9th grade. She never. I asked her, have you done a sport? Well, I've done volleyball, but I got out. And I asked, you know this is wrestling, right? This is an aggressive sport. I want to try it out. Because she tried out, she was with me for 4 years, and finally she broke through. She got to, actually she got third in the region.
Mm-hmm.
and she got to go to regionals. And I remember her aunt and her uncle were up in the stands at the Bloom Center in San Antonio, Blossom Athletic Center. Coach, one more year. Coach, one more year. No, I'm done, man. I'm retiring. I knew I was ready. Yeah, but it's been good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Been good.
Yeah. So you said the order was wrestling, basketball, and football.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think football is one of those hard sports to judge because it's hard to know who's good at football. Like you're good at your position. In my opinion, basketball you gotta know the whole floor.
Yeah.
And then wrestling is one of those. Like you said, there's no team. It's just you and the person in front. Like
But yeah,
it's one of those.
it's you against that girl.
It's one of those good sports that you can tell who the better player is because it's only them two. You know, like basketball, you could have one good player on a not so good team.
Hey, you can hide someone.
Yeah. And wrestling, boxing, things of that sort. It's just one.
UFC, mixed martial arts. Man, I watched that stuff and I said, man, that's violent. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
But it's when I had my first JV, but back in 1991, I remember the varsity coach says, "You'd be lucky to win 5 games with that team." And it's like they light a little switch. Okay, so you know what? We're gonna win district. And we were 12-2 in district, and we were 19-12 for the year. The best JV team that I remember was 27-4. As a matter of fact, sometime in this year we had like a reunion for the basketball running Bobcats from 1980 all the way to 2000, and Coach Lopez called me and says, "I'd like you to come over and take a pictures," and I went. And I got to meet some of my ex-JV players, and they still remember me. He says, "Coach, I remember you. You were rough on us." He said, "Okay." And I says, "I was rough on you because I was preparing you for life." And I learned a long time ago, if you're hard on an athlete, make sure that before that athlete, whether it's male or female, before they leave the practice facility, that you have a talk with them. Let them know that you care. And that the reason you get after them is because you know that they can do better. And my wrestling goes would go to your Aunt Linda, because she was in charge of the concession stand. And I'd be mad. "Could you please talk to Coach because he's mad?" And she would do her coaching herself. And she, "The reason Coach gets after you is because he knows you can do better. And then if he doesn't tell you anything, it's because..." And I would let him know, if I don't talk to you anymore, it's pretty much because I've given up on you. And I made a promise to myself that I was never going to do that because, I'm not going to throw in the towel. You know? I wasn't raised like that. Yeah, but life is good.
That's good. So you guessed. Sorry, you can push it away if you need to. You guessed my PRs on power. Were you on powerlifting as well?
No, I was. I'm gonna tell you that I used to hate to lift weights. I started out and running.
Yeah.
But being a physical educator, how do I expect my students to be physically fit if I'm not physically fit? So at a very young age, I was lifting weights and running. When I got to Edinburgh, when I interviewed in Edinburgh, they asked me, you can tell when somebody works out.
Yeah.
"Do you work out?" "Yes, sir, I do." I says, do you run?" "Yeah, I do." And I still remember what the guy told me, because I don't want any fat coaches on my staff. I don't think I'm fat. Back then I was 150 something. Right now I'm a little under, I'm about 201. But I've gotten a lot into the dumbbell workouts.
Yeah.
When I was in Edinburgh, we were doing a Notre Dame workout. And I'll give you an example of what we were doing. On the bench, we would go 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then 4. Whatever you did at 4,
do it again.
You were going to finish with it. And I gained strength within about 3 weeks. I was gaining some maximum strength. The most I ever benched was 275. And not with a weightlifting or anything, just with a belt.
Yeah.
And the most I squatted was about 300. Of course, I have bad knees, so, but as you get older, you get away from that stuff. Now I do a lot of more of the dumbbells, and I got one that's a perfect push-up, where you go down and you hold it for a second and twist.
Yeah.
That's a killer. And I do, you're gonna be shocked when I tell you this, but I do about 1,800 abs in my workout.
1,800.
100 abs. You probably wonder how you do it. Well, I do 9 sets.
9.
Okay, like let's talk about Monday. Monday, I'm doing my triceps,
Like,
triceps and back workout. I do a set of 10 of the perfect
what do you twist?
push-up, so a twist,
Yeah.
real tight,
Yeah.
and then I go to the bench and I do 50 crunches. When I do the three sets of 10, I already done 150 abs. Okay, and then I continue the next one, which is my
Like skull crushers.
skull crushers.
Uh-huh.
3 sets of 10, 150 abs. Then I do the dumbbell, 50, right here. Boom, boom, 3 sets of 10, 150 abs. Then I go behind the back for the pieces.
Yeah, the trapeze.
Okay, now it gets a little crazy. I have the mat and I have the perfect sit-up, and I do the obliques, 50, 50, and then 50 of these. So it's 1,800. And the reason after every set I do the abs is to allow me to recover. But I do it from Monday to Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, you're off.
Then we work. Ice cream time.
Ice cream time.
Ice cream time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, being you grew up in the 70s.
Actually, I was born
But I was
in the 50s.
You're born in the 50s.
I was born on May 5th,
You graduated high school when? 70?
1973.
Oh, okay. I was thinking 77. I got mixed up with college.
Yeah.
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 Did you have any people that you would see like in magazines growing up that you were like, I want to look like that?
Well, it's funny, but we had the Marvel magazine, comic magazine, Superman and Batman and Spider-Man.
Oh,
Everybody want to be
Yeah.
either Spider-Man, Superman, or Batman. Who are you? I'm Batman. And there would be like at the end they'd have like a, so you're tired of a guy throwing sand in your face. It was a skinny guy, and there was a big bully. So he got into a weightlifting program, and he got real buff and all stuff. Goes back to the beach and confronts the bully, and it's over. But a lot of what I did was, you might laugh, but this is true. We were so poor that we didn't have the luxury for weights, So at home, so we would make the 5-gallon buckets.
the big.
And put a bar in the middle with a hole and fill it with cement. That was our weights.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That was our weights.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those in some smaller gyms or even like at people's houses, and now they even sell like kits to make them yourself to like the mold to like have an exact weight for somebody. That's cool though.
Those a couple of months ago we were picking up a sofa in McAllen, and across from the furniture store, the warehouse was a old shed, and they were doing old school gym, like the tires and flipping tires, no sledgehammer,
no AC or anything.
Yeah, it was just wide open,
Yeah.
and I go in there. What's going on? You could tell they're probably like that. I already knew what they were doing, but I was acting like I was. I said, "You want to join?" Because I'm from San Benito, and then I told them I do my own workout. I did some research, and I'm gonna, at my age, at 68, I'm gonna do what my body allows me to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna let myself go, because my dad died of heart disease, so did my brother, and high blood pressure's in our family, so I'm not gonna let that. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die of natural causes. I die in my sleep.
Yeah.
I die happy. Or with a weight on. Yeah, I tell my class, I die with talk in my mouth. I think that's better.
Yeah, it's I know some older coaches, and even my current coach is not even 50, and like he knows for sure he wants to stay active for as long as he can, but as long as his body needs him to be.
Yeah.
Because I think right now he's going through like a hamstring injury. He's not deadlifting like he used to, but he's still doing the bend over rowing and the good mornings and all those good exercises. But I don't see an end personally to stop moving because I don't know if you know my grandpa on my mom's side.
But yes.
No, Quiroz.
Oh yeah.
You know, that guy is. I think he's older than you. Yeah, for sure. And
he's in his 70s, probably.
I think so. In
Yeah.
early 70s, and that guy is one of the most. I guess the right term is I can't sit still person I can think of. That man has had so many surgeries, so many injuries, and he's still like, I'm gonna keep going, regardless. Like,
Well, that's the right attitude.
Yeah,
But
for
you
sure.
also got to listen to your body.
Yeah, for sure. He's
I've had 2 knee replacements. I tore my ACL in 1977.
yeah.
I've had broken nose. I've had several concussions, and but you listen to your body.
Yeah.
You know, as you get older, there's times where I don't want to lift weights.
Yeah.
You know, let's just go eat. You know, but once I get after the first set, and I get my first, like that old car you warm it up,
Yeah.
it gets warmed
Old
up, and you
car.
start. You know, I listen to Christian workout music, which is like high impact. It gets your blood flowing. And my wife says, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "All right, I'm getting ready, baby." They better not mess with me. They're gonna be thunder and lightning.
Completely a sidetrack here, but I do want to ask what you think are the 3 hardest lifts in the gym.
Oh,
Because this is a
the
big
3 hard lifts in
Yes.
the gym.
Yes, sir. This is a big debate here.
Squat is one of them.
Okay.
Deadlift, you put a lot of pressure on your back. I would rate it squat, deadlift, and bench.
Those 3 are the hardest.
To me, yes.
Yeah. Over like, did you ever do like snatches and stuff?
Okay. Let's go back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say
Go into a
the
gym.
power clean
Okay.
and the snatch.
The top 2.
I would say the snatch would be number 1, power clean 2, and then probably squat number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the snatch is, you gotta throw the weight way above you, and you gotta hold it. Power clean, if you don't have technique, okay, I've seen when they do power clean, people come off the ground. And as you're coming off the ground, you gotta drop your hips and get your elbows under.
Fast.
And like right here, like that. And you put your wrist right here. It's all about technique.
Yeah.
If you just try to swing it up, that's not a power clean.
Yeah.
You know, I used to coach economies with a guy named John Galapa. John Galapa was a technician when it came to powerlifting. We had a kid that was a freshman, Christian Handy. He power cleans a freshman 295,
Jeez.
and he wouldn't give it to you if it wasn't the technique that he wouldn't call it that. Like in powerlifting, you know.
Yeah, that's what's like.
You have the red light and the green light. You gotta go a certain level when you squat it. If you don't go a certain level, they won't count.
Yeah, I think that.
It's amazing what these kids are doing nowadays.
Yeah, that's.
But a lot has to do with the suit also.
Yeah.
That suit, without the suit, some of those people wouldn't be doing all that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then technique, because I see what they do on the bench. They arch their back,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like, I never did that. You know, I sometimes I would cross my legs,
Yeah.
and it's right here.
Oh, you'd have your legs up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, sir. That's when I was younger.
Yeah.
And like I say, as the times go by and you get older, you adjust.
Yeah.
You adjust, but it's been a journey for me.
The whole life thing I couldn't do because it's intimidating to the person, like I don't want to mess up.
Yeah.
And then 2, it's like if you bring something or if I bring something up and you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about that,
Yeah.
then it's easy for me to go back and edit it, cut it out, and then just go about it.
This is the second time I've done something like this.
Really?
Back in, actually, I want to tell you about, in the middle 90s, when I was at Edinburgh High School, there was a social studies teacher named Tony Van Halen who had a country band, Tony's country band and Texas country band. He had a Christian hour on Saturdays with but you know what, now, Radio Esperanza, and I got an interview for an hour.
Oh, really?
I was real nervous. That's when I started changing my life, you know, and gave my life to Jesus, you know, and got right with God, you know, and do the right thing. Yeah.
So, that was like the perfect thing to bring up because since I met you when I was 3, maybe 4, I've never really heard this side of you like religiously, the religious side of you.
Well, everybody thinks that I'm not you know, I believe in God.
Yeah.
Like anybody else, you know, but, you know, as you go through life, you know, when I went through my first divorce, you know, and I moved away from San Benito, and it's just like.
No, sir. I can cut this out. You want me to cut this out?
No, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
If I can reach somebody, that's fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
I moved back home, and I started taking long walks, and I started hearing the wind, and the leaves, and the birds singing, and at the time I had an addiction to alcohol, you know, and I'm ashamed to say that, but I'm gonna be honest. None of us are perfect.
Yeah, it's a
know,
part of you.
But in 2002, when this happened, I'm walking to the Mammoth Lake and Delta Lake where I used to swim when I was a little kid. And I'm walking that way and trying to get my life in order. And I said, where has all this been? And I heard it speak to me. Not literally the voice, but to my mind. I says, you've been busy with your personal life. And I says, okay, God, I need to change, but I'm gonna need your help. So I slowly started changing. My mom got to see the change. Unfortunately, my dad didn't. My dad passed away in 2001. And, but my kids from my first marriage, they see me, and they see me as a better person. I'm actually happy now because I know that God has a purpose for me. And I met your aunt, Linda, and to me, she's been nothing but a blessing to me and my kids. And I remember my mom, when she was on her deathbed, when she died on May 26, 2018, she spoke to Linda and says she was real grateful for accepting me and my kids. And she's been a very blessing to me. And I'm glad I changed. Now my idea of a good time is to have a good quality time with the family and just enjoy life.
Yeah.
You know? I don't mind sharing that with you.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, recently I've said this on the last, I think, 4 podcasts, or like maybe a little longer. I've opened up my Bible more, and there's just things moving forward where I can't do it by myself. Like you said, there's times where you spend alone and you just think.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just a big subject right now in my head, and I do think I had announced this last podcast, but I think in 2 weeks I want to get baptized.
But good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good for you. You're going on the right path, you know, and you're gonna see changes in your life. But as you go into these changes, people are gonna try to stray you away, you know.
Oh, I've heard it already. It's true.
Yeah, and there's always prayer. Kind of like when you're young, you get peer pressure. When you're an adult, it gets worse. It gets worse. Well, you used to do it, you know. I said, you know what? The word was, I used to. I'm no longer that person.
Yeah.
You know. And but hey, that's good news.
Yeah.
That's good news, and you know, that's what God wants. God wants us to thank Him for the good and the bad, and take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
You know, He's only gonna give you so much, and if you let Him in and says, you know what, I need your help, He'll be there. He won't give you what you want. He'll give you what you need.
Yeah.
Okay, you just gotta be patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of learning, not just words on a paper.
Yeah.
Like emotional, spiritual, and physical learning
Yeah,
with myself,
yeah.
and my mom too is just like, she's told me like, is this for sure something you want to do? Like this isn't just a
phase.
a one-time thing or a phase. Like no, this is your life you're talking about, or like this is your whole like eternity. You know what I mean? And for sure, it's been something I wanted to do, and I mean, you said I was young. You said I'm young, but I feel like I've lived godlessly for too long. Yeah, like I wasn't, as a kid, I went to church here and there, and I wasn't too religious. I believed in God and everything. It's just it was never all there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now like the right pieces are coming together, and I just know like, I mean, you came in here surprised with just the setup, and like I want this content, powerlifting. I want like myself as a person, as a man, and everything moving forward as an athlete to go forward. And I know I can't do it by myself.
No.
And it's good that you had that whole change. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, spiritual change.
yeah, for sure.
A spiritual change, and a lot of people didn't believe it, but to me, it doesn't matter what people think about me. What matters is that I'm right with God. I get right with God.
Yeah.
And I do that every morning. And your aunt and me, we get right with God. We thank you for another day. And if I don't do it, I feel like I'm lost the whole day. It's like when you don't work out, you don't feel the same.
Yeah, you don't.
I said, man, with God it's the same way. It's the same way. You know, I'm glad I like this. Even Hardy, sorry about Hardy, man.
She just, what happened? Come here. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I know it's I know it's something, like you said, a little different to you, but it's something I love doing because, I mean, to me, before you walked in today, you were just a coach with wisdom. Now you've opened up more about like your past and your spiritual change, and it's just, it's a good opener.
It's like when you pray, right? And like you're going in for a job, I always pray when I was going in for a job for teaching or whatever it was, for God to speak for me. Give me the right words. Teach me when to speak and teach me when not to speak and to listen. And give me favor with the interview. And if it's your will, fine. And if it's not, it's like what I shared with you earlier about passing to San Benito High School. It wasn't the right time for me back in '96, but in 2001, it opened.
Yeah.
And I was there for 20 years. The only thing I regret is not having summer rec. They cut off summer rec because to me that was like, I want to be working with some kids. You know? Yeah. And then you see them as adults. Yes, I used to think you were a monster. You're not so big now.
Harley!
Okay. Sit.
Sit down.
Sit, baby. Sit. Everything's good.
Sorry about that.
No, but don't worry about it. We used to have a dog too.
Yeah.
Jim.
I don't know why
She's been protected.
Yeah.
Because she's never seen me.
Only outside.
That's the way the dogs are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're protected.
Yeah. That's good. I'm glad I was really looking forward to this, honestly. This whole episode.
I was worried because it says podcast. What the heck is
You're
that?
like, what's that?
iPad or whatever. I don't know what it is. No, he's gonna interview. Is he gonna call me the computer and the phone and then, she says he's gonna be at the house, get everything set up. Okay. Yeah.
Well, one thing I do want to ask, when I compete again, wherever I'm at, this is my friendly invitation to you. I want you there, for sure.
Let me know.
Yeah, for sure, because...
And I will go.
Yeah. Yo, or even just to like, I don't know, it's just, like you said, as a kid, I saw you as this, one thing I was sure, you were giant, you had these big arms, you look like Popeye to me.
I remember what you told me about a year ago.
Yeah.
I used to think you're a monster. You're not that big anymore. Hey, what?
Yeah.
Well, who's down for him, baby?
Yeah, I saw you as this giant mass monster who was always scoring in basketball. I know why now, because you were 2 feet taller than me.
Yeah, those were good old days. Yeah.
But yeah, that's an hour mark or hour 10 mark around there.
If you want to call it
If you feel like there's anything you want to cover for anybody, you can go
Huh?
ahead. If there's anything you want to touch on, you can go ahead.
this, to anybody that's out there, any young person or anybody, you're never too old to change your life. Pursue your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it, because you can. It's just having the desire, to fulfill your dream. You're gonna have obstacles along the way, and you're gonna get sidetracked. But, get back on track and finish your goal. It's never too late. In my case, I took my time, but I could tell my kids, if I hadn't gotten back on track, Lord knows where I'd be, doing odd jobs. But I'm glad that somebody was there to guide me in the right path. You always have a mentor. If you have somebody you look up to that you want to pursue a career in that area, then ask them questions and ask them what the career is like. In my case, it was teaching and coaching, and it's got its rewards, and the reward is that you see your students be productive citizens in society. You want the best for your students. You want your best for your kids, your family, your children, your friends. So don't give up on your dreams, okay? Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Work hard, have the right attitude, and have discipline.
HAD.
HAD. Thank you for listening to the old man. God bless you.
Yeah. Well, God bless you, and thank you for coming on. Everybody watching at home, thank you for watching or listening at home. Thank you for watching, listening, subscribing. It's going to be it for today's podcast. Thank you again. Thank you again, Coach, for coming on.
Thank you,
and you're more than welcome anytime.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And
It's been fun.
and we're out.